Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to go into the repeaters menu and I'm going to show you how to use the array function, but we're going to do something a little bit different and do an offset for your pattern. So you can do things like diamond plate, you can do expanded metal, you can do bricks. So let's get into it. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get rid of this and get rid of that, and let's add a box. All right, so what we're going to do is use this as the background for our expanded metal. So this will be the first one we'll do, and this one's really quick and easy. And as always, I'll have chapters down the bottom so you can skip to the different things you want to do, because I think I'll do all three of these today because they're all real quick. All right, so now that we have our background, we're going to cut the holes into this. Let's add another box and squeeze it down so we can see it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw some paint on it. That way we can kind of see where it's at, and that's fine. And it doesn't matter, like, I don't know if you guys understand, but if you do cut something with a paint color into something else, it will leave that paint, but we can just repaint it. Not a big deal. All right, so I've got the snap at 45, and we're gonna snap at 45 degrees. And now, this is a trick to get this shape to squeeze down for you. Click on the pivot, go to center, and if you go to align, it'll align with the grid for you. So now, hit pivot again, and I can just squeeze this down and make a diamond out of it, and that's perfect. All right, so now that we have that set, now the way the repeater pattern does, if you're doing all positives or negatives, it depends on which corner you want to go in. I'm going to put this in the bottom left corner, and we'll turn the grid off. We don't really need that right now, if it will turn off. And this way it's easier to run your repeat pattern. All right, so you can do it something like this. It doesn't matter too much because we're going to get this all to repeat for us. All right, so before we do the repeat, I don't know what I was thinking. We don't need the array yet. So we need to clone this one first, and that makes the pattern. So we'll clone this, bring it over, and bring it down. And this is the key to your repeating pattern. And you can set your depth from here. And I'm going to turn off outline for just a second, make it easier to see. So I'm just trying to make this line right here the same and clean, just like that, and that's perfect. Now if we take these two and join them, go to add, go to array, now we can just do this whole pattern. First thing you want to do is get rid of click off fit inside, and you bring your offset down, because it'll automatically default way off the screen, and then you can just pattern across, and we'll go ahead and run this so it's completely off, something like that. It really doesn't matter. Okay, and then the next one, we're going to go up this one on the Y and bring it down, and we'll go 4, and there you can just kind of play with where you want to put it all. Okay, now when we go to validate, depending on what you want to do, in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and just join everything and validate it, because we're just going to use this on, turn the eye off, select both with the check boxes, box will merge. I want to keep the edges sharp, and we can go up just a little bit higher than what it recommends. And now you have a perfect piece of diamond plate. Super easy to do. Now, the thing with this, you can still squeeze this down if it's too thick for you. It was a little thick for kind of scale wise. Now, if you want to make more of this, all it is grab your array, and once again, click off the fit inside, because if you don't do that, what happens is it will try to fit several in, and then your pattern gets all weird. So you want to turn that off. All right, so this is just a matter of getting this to line up exactly where you want, and that's being a little finicky. So you can always do this by your numbers too, so you can just play with this until you get it just right. It needs to be probably 950 maybe. That's pretty close. It's one of those that's going to be like very close on getting it perfect, and that's pretty close. You can work with it and get it exactly where you want, but now you can, extend this more pieces if you want, and then same thing up here, bring this down, and then suddenly you have a ton of mesh. All right, so that's an easy way to make expanded metal. All right, so diamond plate would be just about the same thing. We can skip that because it'll be, well, we'll go ahead and do it because let's see, let's unselect these and just turn those off. Let's go ahead and add a box. The one thing with this would be a positive instead of the negative on there for your diamond plate. So we can add another, let's see, we'll add we'll go ahead and add a box. And we're gonna go ahead and paint that again. Now the great thing about all these repeaters now is that it's so much easier. You can actually pivot. We're going to align, turn the pivot off. The good thing about the diamond plate is that now, or with the repeater pattern, is that you can do all your sculpting and still work with something, which is pretty nice. All right, so diamond plate will always have that little other thing in there. So we can add a sphere and just squeeze it down, and that'll make a nice diamond plate shape. Get you that nice diamond plate look. It needs to be up. We can squeeze this down. Just gotta keep working with it till you get it right, about what you want. That looks about right. Grab them both, suck them down. Actually grab them both and squeeze them down. And that's a pretty good diamond. That looks pretty good for diamond plate. Okay, so these two can just be joined. All right, so same thing. You need to bring this down and offset it, clone it, bring it over, and just do whatever pattern you want, something like that. And this will be a little bit easier pattern to do. So these two you can go and join, do an array again. And remember, now if you don't do the fit in, if you don't click off fit inside, this is what happens. It'll squeeze them all together like that, and you can't adjust them at all. So it's really kind of annoying. And they'll do weird things, so I usually just click back out and do the array again while turning that off, and then your offset will be proper next time. Okay, so that's good. And then you can do this one. And there you go. So a nice diamond plate. Now if you want that just to fit on the size, you can do a couple things. We can just expand this a little bit. Get that to fit like you want. Something like that. Or you can also go through and do the pattern like you did with the diamond plate. So there you go. And of course with this you'd want to just slice the back off, so you can grab this array, validate it. This you can go and join children, use your trim tool, go to rectangle, turn off symmetry, and just trim off inside your plate, and you're there. All right, last one, let's do some bricks real quick. Super easy as well. So with the brick pattern, usually you want to do let's turn the grid on for this one and squeeze this down. So with the brick pattern, usually, they're usually like a half lap pattern. So we can do that on this, and you could certainly do a different pattern. So it's the same thing, you need to offset. So we'll go ahead and clone, come down, squeeze over, a little bit past half for your mortar joint. And you can see the halfway point is where your dot is, so that's probably about right. These two you need to join, add again your array, turn off fit inside, and just adjust your offset to your liking. And then we can also do the same thing up here. Click and drag, bring them down, and then voila, you have an instant brick wall. And then if you wanted to, you could do mortar all around here. You could do mortar by just putting a full sheet in there, you know, inside, or you could do individually around the bricks. For this, it'd probably be better just to do another box. You can do mortar, and we'll just color it so we can see it a little bit easier. Nice dark. I guess it would actually help if we paint it. And here we can go and just, whoops, wrong one, that one. Squeeze in till you got some mortar, and just squeeze it down. Oh, and it's under the array. So you'll see what's happening there is you have to drag this box out of the array so it stays. So now it's doing weird things because it's in the corner, but that's fine. It's at the origin corner. So it'll just be a matter of squeezing this down to where you want your mortar. And just like that, you have a nice solid wall ready to go. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. I hope these tips helped you out, and I will see you in the next one. All right, thanks.